How does a seemingly normal man transform into a cold-blooded killer? The unsettling tale of Charlie Brandt provides no easy answers. Our story journeys to the heartland of America, specifically to the seemingly peaceful town of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here, nestled amidst the cornfields and farmhouses, a boy named Charlie Brandt was brought into the world on July 23, 1957. Initially, there was nothing extraordinary about Charlie. He was like any other child, playing with his going to school, and living out what seemed to be an average and normal childhood. Yet, little did anyone know, his early life was far from ordinary. Beneath the surface of his everyday experiences, a darkness was festering. This darkness was not visible to the naked eye. It did not announce itself with any glaring behavioral abnormalities or overt signs. It was a quiet and insidious darkness, hidden away, but growing nonetheless. As Charlie grew older, this darkness would continue to gain strength. It would shape him, mold him, and ultimately lead him down a path that few could have anticipated. A path that would transform him from an ordinary child into a chilling and cold-blooded killer. In the end, the seemingly normal man who was Charlie Brandt was anything but. Lurking beneath the surface was a darkness few could have predicted. When Charlie was just 13 years old, he committed his first known act of violence. A sunny day in July turned sinister when Charlie, driven by reasons known only to him, decided on a course of action that would forever change the trajectory of his life and the lives of his loved ones. His peaceful, unsuspecting family was shattered when he, in a premeditated act of violence, targeted his beloved mother, father, and younger sister. In an event that sent ripples of shock and horror throughout the small, close-knit community they lived in, Charlie shot his pregnant mother in cold blood. The act, so sadistic and brutal, left friends, family, and neighbors grappling with a sense disbelief. His mother, a woman of grace and kindness, fell victim to her son's unprovoked brutality, succumbing to her injuries despite the frantic efforts of first responders. In a further escalation of the terrifying episode, he attempted to murder his own father and sister. His father, though gravely injured, managed to survive the ordeal, his resilience a stark contrast to his chilling cruelty. His sister, too, barely escaped death's clutches, her life irrevocably marked by the night's horrific events. Despite the severity of his actions, Charlie was never formally charged due to his age. He was deemed unfit for trial and instead was sent to a mental institution. There, he was subjected to a rigorous treatment regimen observed by a team of skilled professionals. He spent an entire year in this confined, sterile environment before being released. After the release, Charlie, along with his father and younger sister, sought a fresh start, relocating to the sunny climes of Florida. He was eager to leave behind his past and immerse himself in a regular life, hoping to seize the second chance he was given. Life in the Sunshine State proved to be a journey of transformation for Charlie, as he grew from a teenager into a responsible adult. This journey was marked by significant milestones. He successfully completed his high school, a feat that seemed impossible in his previous life. This was just the start of his evolution. Driven by a desire to carve out a stable and respectable existence, Charlie trained to become an electrician. He mastered the craft, earning a reputation as a skilled professional in local circles. His competence in his work offered a newfound sense of purpose and underlined his commitment to his fresh start. In the year 1986, love found Charlie. He met Terry, a woman who accepted him despite his past. Their love story culminated in a beautiful wedding. Together, they carved out a life that, to an outsider, seemed idyllic in every way. They built a small house, worked hard, and laughed. They created a life that was a stark contrast to Charlie's past. However, despite this seemingly perfect existence and his best efforts to reinvent himself, Charlie's dark side remained. As much as he wished to completely erase his past, it seemed to linger, hiding beneath the veneer of his newfound normalcy. Fast forward to 2004, a hurricane named Ivan was violently assaulting the sun-kissed coast of Florida. In the heart of this tempest, a couple, Charlie and Terry, found themselves fleeing their home, seeking safety far from the wrath of Mother Nature. Their chosen haven was the home of Charlie's niece, dwelling that promised solace against the storm's fury. As the winds howled outside, the household nestled together, hoping to ride out the tempest. The fierce storm seemed to engulf the world outside, creating a portentous atmosphere, one that hinted at an impending catastrophe. The hurricane, however, was not the only threat that night. An inconceivable horror loomed, one that would eclipse even the might of the storm. In the eerie calm that followed the maelstrom, an appalling discovery was made. Amid the debris and destruction left by Ivan, a more sinister scene unfolded. Terry, Charlie's beloved wife of 18 long, loving years, Charlie's innocent niece, and the niece's unsuspecting boyfriend were found savagely murdered. The sight was not for the faint-hearted. The room was stained with the callousness of the act, the brutality even the most hardened investigators. The victims were found in a state of such gruesome mutilation that the scene was immediately identified as the work of a seasoned killer, a being who had honed his monstrous craft over time. The terrifying tableau bore the hallmarks of a wicked mastermind, not a one-time offender. The investigation led law enforcement to delve into the shadowy depths of Charlie's history. Like a trail of breadcrumbs, each new piece of evidence discovered dragged them further into the labyrinth of his past. It was a journey that took them back through years, through a twisted maze of actions and decisions that were far from. It was then they began to grasp the magnitude of who they were dealing with, a reality far more terrifying than what they initially perceived. Through the dark veil of his past, it became glaringly clear that Charlie was not simply a one-time offender. His crimes told a harrowing tale of continuous, calculated acts of violence. The modus operandi of the murders, each one orchestrated with an uncanny precision, told the investigators that this was no ordinary criminal. His meticulousness, the patterns that emerged from the mayhem and the relentless recurrence of his sinister actions, all pointed towards a chilling conclusion. The signs were all there, manifesting themselves in a disturbing pattern of repetition and prediction, methodically leading the officers to an inescapable truth. The truth that they were dealing with a man whose crimes were not sporadic, but rather a systematic and relentless pursuit. With every piece of his dark past that was uncovered, the reality of the situation became increasingly sinister. Charlie Brandt was not only a murderer, but a serial killer. After his death, an in-depth investigation into his past revealed a chilling pattern. A series of unsolved murders that bore striking similarities to the murders of his wife and niece. This pattern, disturbing and horrific, was like a trail of breadcrumbs, leading investigators down a dark path. In an effort to piece together the puzzle, investigators started to delve deeper, unearthing a series of eerie coincidences. These murders, all of young, innocent women, occurred in the very same areas where Charlie had lived, from the quiet, sleepy hamlet up north to the bustling city centre down south. Each location, each crime held an eerie echo of Charlie's presence, an unsettling footprint left behind. Each murder was a chilling testament of a lurking predator, a predator who had managed to blend in and escape suspicion. Investigators compiled years of data, cross-referencing locations, timings, and victims. The more they dug, the more the connections became clear. Bit by bit, a picture of Charlie began to form, a picture that was far from the man he had portrayed himself to be. As they connected the dots, the cold truth began to dawn on them. The evidence began to stack up against Charlie, creating a horrifying montage of the life he had led. The authorities began to connect the dots, and a haunting picture of Charlie's life began to emerge. The story of Charlie Brandt paints a chilling picture of a man who lived a double life. Charlie Brandt was not just your regular neighbor, but also a man of multiple faces. A part of him, the one his community, friends, and family saw, was a diligent and competent electrician. He was a man admired and respected for his skills and his dedication to his work. He was known for his precision and meticulousness, for his to fix the most complex electric circuits with an ease that seemed almost supernatural. However, there was another side to him that was hidden from the eyes of the world. At home, he was a doting husband, a man who was always there for his wife, supporting her through thick and thin. He was a man committed to his marriage, a man who made it a point to never miss any important events or occasions. He was a man who appeared gentle, loving and endearing, a man who was seen as a pillar of his community. But underneath this facade of normalcy and respectability lay a dark and sinister reality. He was a murderer, a man whose hands were stained red with the blood of his innocent victims, his victims who were oblivious of the lurking danger beneath his affable exterior. They were unaware that they were dealing with a man who could, with a single stroke, end their lives. No one could have ever suspected that the seemingly harmless electrician was a cold-blooded killer, his victims unsuspecting of the danger that lurked beneath his affable exterior. The harrowing tale of Charlie Brandt's crimes left an indelibly profound impact on society at large. His infamous deeds, chilling in their severity, continue to echo in the annals of criminal history. More than just a series of brutal incidents, Brandt's story is a grim testament to the dark that can exist within seemingly ordinary individuals. It's an eerie narrative that compels us to reassess the familiar faces in our lives, to probe deeper into their characters, their pasts, and their potential for harm. His story unveils the frightening truth that evil, often skillfully masked and meticulously concealed, can lurk within the very people we least suspect. It shatters the comforting illusion of safety we associate with known faces, kind smiles, and everyday conversations. Brandt's tale pushes us to acknowledge the unsettling reality that someone's exterior may not always reflect their true nature. It forces us to reconsider our assumptions about people's potential for harm, chillingly illuminating how deception can thrive in the most unsuspecting places. In this complex world, where appearances can be deceiving, his story emphasizes the need for vigilance. It underscores the importance of remaining aware and informed about those we interact with on a regular basis, to ensure we are not blindsided by the potential dangers lurking just beneath the surface. It forces us to question how well we truly know those around us and the potential dangers that may lie hidden beneath the surface. In the end, the tale of Charlie Brandt is a chilling testament to the hidden depths of human nature. A story so unnerving, it forces us to question our understanding of what it means to be human. It's the tale of an ordinary man who, on the surface, lived an ordinary life. But beneath the mask of normalcy, Charlie Brandt concealed a dark secret, a monstrous capacity for evil that has left us all shocked and baffled. Charlie Brandt, by societal standards, was the embodiment of normal. He was a loving husband, a good friend, a dedicated worker. But underneath that facade, he harbored a chilling secret that was as horrifying as it was unexpected. How can such evil lurk within a seemingly ordinary individual? It forces us to confront the unsettling truth that evil doesn't always wear a distinct face. Brandt's tale peels veneer of normalcy, revealing a harrowing truth about the potential for darkness that can reside within anyone, even an ordinary man like Charlie. It compels us to explore the unsettling reality that there exists a thin, fragile line between civility and savagery, between normalcy and monstrousness, which, when crossed, can result in catastrophic consequences. Through the tale of Charlie Brandt, we are forced to grapple with the fact that darkness can be found anywhere, even in the most unexpected. It makes us question our assumptions about people, reminding us that humans are capable of both great good and terrible evil. Indeed, the tale of Charlie Brandt is a chilling testament to this unsettling reality, and the devastating effects of such a darkness unleashed upon society. They are catastrophic. They are irreparable. They are a harsh reminder of the profound consequence when the darkness within us is allowed to manifest. The tale of Charlie Brandt serves as a stark warning about the terrifying potential for evil that can exist within so-called ordinary people.